filled with jealousy when they see you out with me. Goodness knows you're my honeysuckle rose. And when you're passing by, flowers droop and sigh, and I know the reason why. Goodness knows you're my honeysuckle rose. I don't buy sugar, you just have to touch my cup. You're my sugar, it's sweeter when you stir it up. And when I'm taking sips from your tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips. Well, goodness knows you're my honeysuckle rose. Goodness knows you're my honeysuckle rose. Hi, everybody. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that this show is about flowers. Yes, flowers. All different kinds of flowers, right? And but I'm wearing, you notice this has roses on it because a lot of the songs are about roses. There have been more songs written about roses than any other flower. So we're going to have some fun. Now that last, before I forget, because you know I do forget, I would like you, if you would care to do this, have a pencil or pen and some paper near you when you watch my show. Because from time to time, I'm going to be asking you to put a check mark when you hear something in the song that relates to that theme. So, you might even win a prize. This is for our residents. Of course, those that are watching me around the world, and by golly, you really are. And outside, of course, our village. Of course, the prize is for residents, but it'd be fun for you to mark something down and see how many of the words I'm asking you to look for are in the are in my show. All right, but anyway, so that's for the future, okay? Have a pen, pencil, and some paper with you, okay? Let's continue on. Oh, Honeysuckle Rose. Fats Waller wrote that song. He sure did. 1929. Fats Waller wrote it, and of course, had the big hit on it. So anyway, here we go. So in that one is Honeysuckle Rose, right? Amapola, my pretty little poppy, you're like that lovely flower, so sweet and heavenly. Since I found you, my heart is wrapped around you, and loving you it seems to beat a rhapsody. Amapola, the pretty little poppy, must copy its enduring charms from you. Amapola, Amapola, how I long to hear you say I love you. How I long to hear you say I love you. Amapola means poppy. So like where I said Amapola, my pretty little poppy, it was Poppy, my pretty little poppy. Anyway, that was written in 1924. And in the 40s, Helen O'Connell and Bob Eberly sang this with Jimmy Dorsey. They recorded it and had a nice, they had a string of songs that they did with Jimmy Dorsey, recorded them. Tangerine, Green Eyes, Besame Mucho, and of course Amapola. Gene Autry also sang this song. It's funny that there are songs that I'll see that Gene Autry did that I don't remember, but he did that. And of course, he was a singing cowboy, you know, so was Roy Rogers. All right. Now, so that was Poppy, right? Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hill, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for a song whenever April showers come along. 1921, that song was written, and Al Jolson is the one that made it a hit. All right, so on that one we had violets and daffodils, right? All right. On the song 1945, it's from State Fair. And by the way, Jeannie Crane was in that movie, and she lip synced it in the movie because she did not sing it. And so many of our actors and actresses did that back in the day. That somebody else sang for them, you know, because they didn't have that great of a voice. Anyway, so and on this tune, Dick Haymes, who was also in State Fair, had the first hit recording of it. All right, so here we go. We're gonna listen for a flower, maybe two flowers. I'm as restless as a willow in a windstorm. I'm as jumpy as a puppet on a string. I'd say I had spring fever, but I know it isn't spring. I am starry-eyed, vaguely discontented, like a nightingale without a song to sing. Oh, why should I have spring fever when it isn't even spring? I keep wishing I were someone else, walking down a strange new street, hearing words that I have never heard from a guy I've yet to meet. I'm as busy as a spider spinning daydreams. I'm as giddy as a baby on a swing. I haven't seen a crocus or a rosebud or a robin on the wing, but I feel so gay in a melancholy way that it might as well be spring. It might as well be spring. Okay, two flowers, crocus and rosebuds. Yeah, we don't see crocus blooming here. Of course, I was raised in the north, and we had beautiful crocuses in the yard. All right, let's continue on. This song, 1946, was recorded by Arthur Godfrey. Yeah. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, an onion patch, an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. The air is so strong it takes my breath away. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. Oh, won't you come and play with me? Now when I went boo-hoo, did you go boo-hoo? Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. And then all of you out there are supposed to say, boo-hoo. Okay, good. So that was the petunia, right? Onions, we'll use in another show. Let me tell you about this next song because it's very important to me. I believe it was in the 90s, late 90s or early 1991. I got very seriously ill and was in the hospital for quite a while. And the whole time I was in there, every day I received a daisy. One daisy every day. I never knew who was sending them. And when I finally found out, they must have sent me I don't know, I think I was in there 3 weeks or so. So every day I got a daisy. I happen to love yellow daisies. And daisies last so much longer than other flowers do. You know, you could keep daisies for 3 weeks. And actually, those daisies did stay 3 weeks for me. The nurses were putting them all in a vase. And finally, I found out who sent them to me, and it was Jack and Margaret Swan, who at that time lived in Cookeville, Tennessee. And after Jack passed away, then Margaret is in a assisted living in Austin, Texas. But so through all these years, we've been she called me Daisy 1, and I call her Daisy 2. So whenever we talk or email, hi Daisy 1 or hi Daisy 2. But I'll never forget that. There's just some things in your life, folks, you never forget. I mean, to think that every day they brought a daisy to me. And I was I don't know where I was at. I don't know whether I was in the hospital in Florida or had been taken off the boat and in another hospital. I'm not really sure. But anyway, Daisy. So this song is called Daisy a Day. In 1973, a fellow country singer by the name of Judd Strunk, S-T-R-U-N-K, Judd Strunk, wrote this and had a big record of it. And I've always loved it. So I'm going to take you now, tells a little story. I want you to listen to the words because I think they're going to touch your heart. He remembers the first time he met her. He remembers the first thing she said. He remembers the first time he held her and the night that she came to his bed. He remembers her sweet way of saying, honey, has something gone wrong? He remembers the fun and the teasing and the reason he wrote her this song. I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. Can't you just see this couple? I sure can. they would walk down the street in the evening. And for years I would see them go by, and their love that was more than the clothes that they wore could be seen in the gleam of their eyes. As a kid, they would take me for candy. I loved to go tagging along. We'd hold hands while we walked to the corner, and the old man would sing her this song. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. Now he walks down the street in the evening, and he stops by the old candy store. And I somehow believe that he's believing. He's holding her hand like before. For he feels all her love walking with him. And he smiles at the things she might say. Then the old man walks up to the hilltop and gives her a daisy a day. Sing with me, friends. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. Isn't that a heartfelt song? My goodness. And he walks up to the hilltop and he gives her a daisy a day. My goodness, I love that. It's cherry pink and apple blossom white when your true love comes your way. It's cherry pink and apple blossom white, the poets say. The story goes, a cherry tree beside an apple tree did grow, and there a boy once met his bride-to-be long, long ago. The boy looked into her eyes, it was a sight to enthrall. The breezes joined in their sighs, the blossoms started to fall. As they gently caressed, the lovers looked up to find branches of the two trees were intertwined. And that is why the poet's always right. If there's a new moon right above, it's cherry pink and apple blossom white when you're in love. It's cherry pink and apple blossom white when you're in love. You know who did that one? Perez Prado. Perez Prado wrote the music to it. It was an instrumental, 1955, came out, and I know you folks know how big of a hit this was. And then Pat Boone, words were put to the song, and Pat Boone recorded it. Okay, so cherry pink and apple blossom white. So there we have the beautiful blossoms, right? Cherry blossoms and apple blossoms. And so let's do this song now. 1940, the Andrews Sisters, but the song actually came out in 1920. I'll be with you in apple blossom time. I'll be with you to change your name to mine. One day in May, I'll come and say, happy the bride, the sun shines on today. What a wonderful wedding there will be. What a wonderful day for you and me. church bells will chime, and you will be mine in apple blossom time. Everybody knows that song, right? So, apple blossoms. All right. I find the flower in this song, okay? Is it true what they say about Dixie? Does the sun really shine all the time? Do the sweet magnolias blossom at everybody's door? Do folks keep eating possum? Are they nuts? No way. Till they can't eat no more. Is it true what they say about Swanee? Is a dream by that stream so sublime? Do they laugh? Do they love like they say in every song? If it's true, then that's where I belong. If it's true, then that's where I belong. 1936, and it was Al Jolson that had the hit record on that back in those days, okay? And of course, the flower is magnolias, right? Magnolias. All right. Now we're going to a song that came out in 1940. Frank Sinatra first recorded this and had a nice hit record with Tommy Dorsey's orchestra. And but actually, John Denver had this on an album. Yep, so here we go, folks. Listen for the flower. A country dance was being held in a garden. I felt a bump and heard, oh, beg your pardon. Suddenly I saw polka dots and moonbeams all around a pug-nosed dream. The music started, and was I the perplexed one? I held my breath and said, may I have the next one? In my frightened arms, polka dots and moonbeams sparkled out of pug-nosed dreams. There were questions in the eyes of other dancers as we floated across the floor. There were questions, but my heart knew all the answers, and perhaps a few things more. Now in a cottage full of lilacs and laughter, I know the meaning of the words ever after, and I'll always see polka dots and moonbeams when I kiss that pug-nosed dream. All right, I know Shannon knows what it is. What was it, Shannon?
Lilacs.
Lilacs is right. Oh, you get a rubber chicken. Someday folks, one of these days, I'm going to give her a rubber chicken. She thinks I'm kidding. Okay. Now, several shows ago, I did this song, but I'm doing it again. And it's from 1922. One of my favorite composers, Gus Kahn, wrote this. Now, there are going to be two different flowers in this song, okay? Here we go. Before I do that, I want to see the movie The Dolly Sisters. I have never seen it. Of course, it's an old musical. And Betty Grable and June Haver starred in it. Um, I hope I get to see it sometime because this song is in there. And also, Danny Thomas sang it with Doris Day um, in a movie called I'll See You in My Dreams. So, I'll see you in my dreams in the early 50s. All right, here we go. Listen for the flowers. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. Where the morning glories twine around the door, whispering pretty stories I long to hear once more. Strolling with my girlie, we're due as early in the morning. Butterflies all flutter up and kiss each buttercup at dawning. If I had a lattice lamp for only a day, I'd make a wish, and here's what I'd say. Nothing could be finer to be in Carolina in the morning. All right. 2 flowers, morning glories, and buttercup. Remember those little tiny yellow flowers? Buttercups. Oh my gosh. The butterflies love those flowers. So did the bees. Okay. Okay, we'll do this key. Rambling rose, rambling rose, while you ramble, no one knows. While that wind blows, that's how you've grown. Who can cling to a rambling rose? Ramble on, ramble on. When you're rambling, days are gone. Who will love you with a love true? When you're rambling, days are gone. Sing it, here we go. Rambling rose, rambling rose, why I want you, heaven knows. Though I love you with a love true, who can cling to a rambling rose? I know you know who made the big hit of that. 1962, Nat King Cole, right? I did that song also for Sally Fosnight, lives up on Holly Branch, and her father loved this song, and so I knew that, and she had asked for it when she come into the lounge, and so I did that for her. You know, Sally Fosnight and her husband Dave Seymour, some of you know this, that they met about 40 years ago at my piano bar. And Sally used to come in and sit at my piano bar because she knows I watched out for all the single ladies, and she loved the music. And one day Dave walked in with a male companion, friend, and he met Sally, and that was it. You know how Harry met Sally? As David met Sally, and that was it. They've been together ever since. How about that, folks? I'm a pretty good matchmaker, aren't I? All right. Now, this next song was a hit record back in 1947, and it was sung by Eddie Howard. Some of you folks remember Eddie Howard. I do, and some of you don't. And in 1961, the Sons of the Pioneers also also had a nice record on this. So let's see if you remember it, and listen for the flowers. In my adobe hacienda, there's a touch of Mexico. Cactus, lovelier than orchids, dreaming on the patio. They were actually blooming on the patio, folks. I know you caught that. Soft desert stars, the strum of guitars, makes every evening so sweet. In my adobe hacienda, life and love were more complete. In my adobe hacienda, nestled in the western hills, in my adobe hacienda, I can hear those whippoorwills. Wonder how many of you remember that song, My Adobe Hacienda. And the flower was orchids. Yes, cactus lovelier than orchids, blooming on the patio. Okay, and here's another one. Let's see, do it the right key here. Moonlight and roses bring wonderful memories of you. My heart reposes in beautiful thoughts so true. June light discloses love's golden dreams sparkling anew. Moonlight and roses bring memories of you. That's the music to that song, Moonlighted Roses, which, by the way, had a big hit by Jim Reeves in 1964. But that the music to it was written actually in 1888, and it was in a I believe it was a classical song. I don't know whether it was for an opera or what they were doing for it. And it was called Andantino, and it was in D flat. Andantino in D flat. Now that was the music to it, and then the words were put to it later, right? All right, so that's that. Moonlight and Roses. Yes, Moonlighted Roses. Okay, we're in the Roses. We've got some Roses songs coming up here. Here we go. Remember this one? I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. Gotta be a little rain sometime. When you take, you gotta give. So live and let live and let. Oh, I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. I can promise you things like big diamond rings, but you don't find roses growing on stalks of clover. So you better think it over. Sweet talking you could make it come true. silver platter. But what would it matter? So smile for a while, let's be jolly. Love should be so melancholy. Come along and share the good times while we can. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. Along with the sunshine, there's gotta be a little rain sometime. Along with the sunshine, there's gotta be a little rain sometime. Beautiful rose garden. So we've got a few songs about roses, right? Here's another one here. All right. This song, actually, in 1942, Dinah Shore did it. Connie Boswell did it. Harry James did it with Helen Forrest. And but the one that got the most, it was the biggest hit, I should say. It was by the Mills Brothers. By the Mills Brothers. Oh, I thought they mowed yesterday. They mowed coming back. Oh, I don't know if he's mowing or he may be putting fertilizer down. No, he's mowing. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting used to kind of seeing them here. I'll feel bad if they don't show up. All right, how about this one? Give me 1,000 roses. Put my heart in beside them. Send them to the one I love. She'll be glad to receive them, and I know she'll believe them. There's something we've been talking of. There may be orange blossoms later, kind of thing that there will. She's done something to me, and my heart won't keep still. Give me 1,000 roses, put my heart in beside them, send them to the one I love. All right, 2 flowers in there, roses and orange blossoms. Right. All right, how about this one? I'm sending you a big bouquet of roses, one for every time you broke my heart. And as the door of love between us closes, how those tears will fall like petals when we part. I begged you to be different, but you'll always be untrue. I'm tired of forgiving, and there's nothing left to do. So I'm sending you a big bouquet of roses, one for every time you broke my heart. 1948, Eddie Arnold. Yes, Eddie Arnold. All right, here's another one. Now, this particular song, you would think that Wayne Newton had the biggest hit of it, but actually, no. It actually was done by Vaughn Monroe in 1948, and he recorded this song he had with his orchestra, and also his the group that sang with him, the Moon Men, Moon, M-O-O-N, Moon Men. All right, but then in '65, Wayne Newton came out with this, and sold a lot of records, but still not as many as Vaughn Monroe had sung. And I know you can sing with me. I want some red roses for a blue lady. Mr. Florist, take my order, please. We had a silly quarrel the other day. Hold these pretty flowers, chase her blues away. I want some red roses for a blue lady. Send them to the sweetest gal in town. And if they do the trick. I'll hurry back to pick your best white orchid for her wedding gown. Best white orchid for her wedding gown. Roses, right? And orchid. The white orchid. All right, and then here's one. George Morgan, country singer, 1949 did it. But the number one hit was done by Mickey Gilley, 1974, this song. If I said a rose to you, for every time you made me blue, you'd have a room full of roses. And if I said a rose of white, every time I cried at night, you'd have a room full of roses. And if I took the petals and tore them all apart, I'd be tearing at the roses just the way you tore my heart. And if someday you're feeling blue and you can send a rose to you, don't send me a room full of roses. I just want my arms full of you. I just want my arms around you. Room full of roses, yep. All right. This next tune has a lot of flowers in it. A lot. This would be a lot of fun if you had a pencil and paper with you right now and put a check mark every time I mention a flower, okay? All right. In 1962, Jimmie Rodgers, there's two Jimmie Rodgers. There's Jimmie Rodgers, the train guy, the country singer. That was back in the day. But then there was that Jimmie Rodgers who had so many hits in the 60s. So this is one that he had a wonderful hit record on, and so let's do it. Now, this song actually was written back in 1918, and the music to this, if I remember, was in an opera in the 1700s. But and in 1918, lyrics were added to it. And through the years, there were several versions, several adaptations of it. But Jimmie Rodgers had a big hit on this. All right, here we go. How many kinds of sweet flowers grow in an English country garden? I'll tell you now of some that we know, those we miss you'll surely pardon. Daffodils, heart's ease and phlox, meadow sweet and lady smocks, gentian, lupine and tall hollyhocks, roses, foxglove, snowdrops, forget-me-nots in an English country garden. So there were, okay, let's look at this. There were daffodils and phlox, heart's ease. I don't know that flower, but it's in the song. Must be an English flower, maybe. Or maybe our gardeners out there have seen heart's ease. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to Google it. All right, we had roses, foxgloves, gentian, lupine, hollyhocks, snowdrops, forget-me-nots. A lot of flowers there, huh? And I have heard that there are gardeners here that love to plant English gardens. So that's rather popular. Actually, all over the world probably is a beautiful country garden, English country garden. Okay, now 1962. Okay, Jimmie Rodgers did that one in 1962. Here's another one in 1962 that Bobby Vinton, #1 record on this tune. Okay, so Here we go. A long, long time ago, on graduation day, you handed me your book. I signed this way. Roses are red, my love. Violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not as sweet as you. We dated through high school, and when the big day came, I wrote into your book next to my name. Roses are red, my love. Violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not as sweet as you. Oh, what a beautiful song. Graduation day. Graduations are pretty different now, aren't they? It's just been amazing what this pandemic has done to things that were so normal for us. All right, 1957, Marty Robbins. Yes, this song is still a hit record for so many generations. And so Marty Robbins wrote and recorded this song. All right, now I know you can sing along with me. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all dressed up for the dance. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all alone in romance. Oh, once you told me long ago, to the prom with me you'll go. Now you've changed your mind, it seems. Someone else will hold my dreams. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm in a blue mood. Dolly Parton has written so many songs. And when I was thinking of what songs I want to do, believe me, there are so many songs about flowers that I'm going to have a part 2 of this show down the road. Dolly Parton wrote this song, and we have these flowers that we plant, right? And love them in our gardens, our yards. And you're driving up a road, a lot of times on the interstates, and the median, that center grassy area, many times will have wildflowers, and they are so beautiful. And once those wildflowers, a bird will take a seed and drop it somewhere, and the wildflowers will just keep growing and growing. I think wildflowers are as beautiful, if not beautiful, than are what I call domestic flowers, right? But anyway, here's a song, and I'm only going to do a couple verses of it. This is a song by that Dolly Parton wrote. The hills are alive with wildflowers, and I, wild as wild, even wilder than they. For at least I could run, they just died in the sun and refused to just wither in place. Just a wild mountain rose needing freedom to grow, so I ran, fearing not where I'd go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. And the flowers I know in the fields where I grew were content to be lost in the crowd. They were coming and close, I had no room for growth, and I wanted so much to branch out. So I uprooted myself from my home ground and left, took my dreams and took to the road. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers grows wild where they grow. Wildflowers grow wild where they grow. Oh, Dolly Parton. I think of all the songs she's wrote. Coat of Many Colors and I Will Love You. Oh my goodness. Okay. We got, we do this song and then I've got a closing tune. I want you to watch for the flowers and sing along with me. Is this the little girl I carried? Is this little boy at play? I don't remember growing older. When did they? When did she get to be a beauty? When did he get to be so tall? Wasn't it yesterday when they were small? Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly flow the days. Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze. Can't forget those beautiful sunflowers. I remember when I was telling you about that solo trip I took, those 11,000 miles in 34 states in 4 months, back in 2011. I think I talked about it last week. I came through Kansas as I was coming back east from being in Idaho and Washington. And the sunflowers were unbelievable. Acres and acres of sunflowers. That's something you don't forget. Oh my goodness, they were so beautiful. You folks that lived out by that way, you know all about those beautiful sunflowers. And anyway, well, folks, this is my last song. And so normally I end with a fast tune, and but I wrote this song for a very special lady. Ruth Trask, who lives in the apartments here, was sitting on a bench early this week. I believe it was early this week. It's only been about 4 days ago. And she was there with another resident from the apartments, and they were sitting there, and her little precious doggie was there with her. And she told me that she watches the shows, which of course made me happy. That you watch the shows is just, I can't say, it just does something to my heart. And I got so many beautiful emails from you, calls, and I really mean that. It means a lot to me that you are watching the shows. So after Ruth told me that she watched the show, she says, and she knows that I write songs, and she said, would you write a song for my Princess Molly? And I said, of course I will. Now, I'm going to do this song for Ruth, for her Princess Molly. But let me add to this, that any of you that are out there and, through my camera, looking at you, if you have a pet, a doggy, a kitty, or even a parrot, which we have several, I know we have at least, we have a couple here in our couple parrots here, and there might be more that I don't know about. So I want you to think, when I'm doing this song for Princess Molly, I want you to know that I'm also singing this for your wonderful pet that means everything in the world to you. Okay? Here we go. Princess Molly, what a friend you are to me. You are always near, nowhere else would you be. I feel the love between us as we walk side by side. My precious Princess Molly, my heart is filled with pride. We spend our days enjoying every little thing, and at night dream of what tomorrow may bring. You're my sweet Princess Molly. You put a smile on my face every day of my life. I have something to embrace. Let's treasure every moment. My sweet Princess Molly, my sweet Princess Molly, what a friend you are to me. Yeah, I know so many of you have pets. I am so glad you're with me. Thank you so much for being there. And don't forget, have a pencil and a paper next to you, because you never know. I'm going to be asking you to play a little game with me while I'm doing my show. So anyway, stay safe, tolerant, patience. Listen to what Joe tells us. And folks, we're going to get through this, okay? And don't forget, I love you. Bye-bye. See you next week.